Hey everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm getting on today, obviously, to do some tarot reading, and I'm going to answer a viewer question that I really can't believe I haven't read on yet, and that is American Civil War. Not the last one. Are we going to have another one? So, yes, that is on the agenda for today. So, gosh, there's a lot of questions around another American Civil War. A lot of people have been talking about this, since the whole insurrection and election lie and etc. And while I'm shuffling here, I'm just going to sort of talk through some of, what I'm thinking here is, are we already in the midst of one? What's going on with Russia and Ukraine certainly demonstrates that you don't have to declare a war or use the word war to wage a war, right? So even though the U.S. hasn't really kind of acknowledged we're in a state of civil war, are we already in the midst of one? We had a coup attempt. Now, this is something that really gets me about this whole Trump and election coup thing. Any other country, I swear, if some fallen leader attempted a coup and it failed, whole insurrection, whole storm in a federal building. I mean, seriously, tried a coup and failed. What would happen to that person? Jail, banishment, or of course, getting put to death. So, obviously in the old days, definitely would have been put to death, banishment. These are the things that happen with failed coup leaders. That didn't happen in the United States. We were just like, what the hell just happened, right? We've never experienced anything like that before. We didn't have a mindset in place. We didn't have a set of laws in place. We didn't have past practice in place to tell America how to deal with a failed coup attempt. And as a result, nothing happened to Trump. He wasn't immediately arrested or banished or jailed or anything like that. He is still out in the public sphere doing an incredible amount of damage, right? Continuing to push his completely debunked fraudulent election lies, completely trying to undermine and influence elections, candidates, still trying to control the Republican Party, even though, God, I'm sure most of them just wish that he would just drop dead, right? Because he's doing incredible damage to the GOP. Yeah, there's a little cohort of those extremists, as there always are. But for the most part, somehow he's got even the regular ones, toeing the line. It's pretty incredible. But the point is, he's still doing damage. He's still lying to the public. He's still instigating violence. He's still calling for an overthrow of our valid election. He still is trying to, have power because we didn't toss his ass out of the country like any other country at any other time would have. So, where am I going with this? So the point is that all these people are still in place. All his co-conspirators are still in their seats. And so now we're looking at coup version 2.0 from the inside, right? Can they put a bunch of people in place in local election offices, in local state houses, and of course all the people still in the Senate and House are still in their seats? Are they going to essentially complete this coup from the inside because they've been left in place? Nothing's happened to them. Cue in Merrick Garland. Dude, are you there to protect this country or not? He has done nothing. Nothing might be a bit of a stretch. I guess he's starting from the ground up, right? With the insurrectionists, the smaller crimes, and working his way up to the planners and funders and ultimately the top. But it's taken too damn long. It's taken too long. So, So the question is, are we in the middle of a civil war? We are definitely split, right? The country is split in two. We've got people in place who are very, honestly and openly saying that they want to undermine the elections, stop anything Biden is trying to do, cease legislation. Oh my God, if GOP win either the House and or Senate, things are going to get really bad, right? Are they going to try and impeach Biden as just some sort of petty revenge because Trump got impeached twice? It was his own behavior that got him impeached. Hello. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking through some of these, seeing what I want to, look for in the cards here. The difference, of course, with what's happening now and in the past is it's not a geographical split, right? It's not north and south or even east and west. There's blue and red people scattered, throughout the whole entire nation. So, and it's going to be very hard for people to sort of take up arms, right? And wage that kind of classic warfare with your neighbor, right? This neighbor on this side of me, GOP. This side of me is a Democrat. Across the street, it's a Trump lover. Over there is a Biden side. How are you supposed to wage a war like that when everyone is blended and living together? So that to me is a very strong sense that we're not going to have that kind of classic civil war. But then again, the racists have been calling for a race war for decades and decades. See the mass murder that just happened in that grocery store the other day. So, and then of course there's all the protesters and the rioting. And so there is opportunity there for violence. Okay, so there's lots of ways a civil war can play out. It could be violent with guns. It could be legislatively overturning elections. I think that's the route they're going. And yeah, so, but are we really in a civil war right now? Or is this something that is happening? Like if the GOP takes those houses, Senate and the House, is that really going to be the start of it? Or can we save ourselves and avoid it? So that's the reading today. Getting into this U.S. Civil War. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, ultimately, it's ridiculous. Even if you have a few states, like, for example, Idaho, there's always this talk of secession, right? This is another part of it. Idaho, there's people who want to secede. Texas, people who want to secede. If you're someone who wants to succeed from the nation, ding, 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 that should be a red flag to you that you are anti-American. And you might have fallen on the side of the insurrectionists, right? The let's call it the losing side on this channel. Okay, so I'm going to do a little spread here. Well, not a little spread. I'm going to do a big old spread here. On this issue of Civil War, I'm going to do a few cards. On the left, we'll do the Democrats. Just a few cards to represent that side. And on the right, we'll do the GOP. A few cards to represent that side. And I'm going to do a nice big spread in the middle. And let's get into this. Are we in the midst of a civil war? Are we going to have one? Can we avoid one? Let's take a look. Bring you down for the spread here. Okay. Representing the GOP. No, I'm sorry. This is the GOP on the right. I'm doing left, right. So I said it. Let's put them over here. GOP. Oh, I know you're not going to be able to see it. Oh, let's put that right there for you. And over here, we're going to do the blue Democratic Party. All right, and in the middle here, we're going to do a spread kind of for the nation, all right, to see how the nation's doing with this question. And I'm just going to scooch them in here so you can see them, and then I will bring the camera up and this is how it's going to be right here. All right, just a second. Okay, everybody. I just kind of spread this out a little bit for me to get a little bit better look. So I'm going to bring this up. All right, let's get into this. So we're going to start over here on the left with the blue side, Democratic Party. So the side who is defending their president and the election to put him in office, right? Defending Biden's presidency, trying to get legislation passed, trying to heal the nation, etc., etc. Okay, the blues. We're starting off here with the Seven of Swords. So this is the Thieves card. Now, if there's any GOPers out there going, see, they stole. No, they're dealing with a theft. This is stealing in your own camp, is one of the classic definitions of this card. So this person is in their own house, in their own camp, in their own, I don't know, Congress, White House, in their own, right? Own camp, trying to steal. So I think this is what the Democrats are facing. You know, they go to work every day and they look across the aisle at these people, knowing what they've done, the tours, the lying, the propaganda, you know, all these attempts to overturn the vote, steal the election, all the local state house, right? It's just right in front of them. They're having to deal with it. This is what they're facing. This is what's right in front of them. Is this theft happening right in front of them? How do you fight that? How do you deal with your neighbor? How do you right the wrong when it's just so close right there? The challenge is the devil. So evil is afoot. There's malicious, evil intent that is challenging them. This tells us this isn't a battle of good ideas, right? It's not a battle of good intentions. This isn't a may the best man win kind of situation. There's malicious, lying, evil intent behind what their challenge is, okay? And their result, of course, with the Hierophant is just indicating to us that this party is really what's left of our governing government. So the Democrats, just by being on the opposite side, have had to take the position, and hopefully, you know, naturally would take the position of a just government, the rule of law, continuing legislating, still trying to do the good work of the people, you know, pro-democracy, not wanting the United States to turn into an authoritarian regime, right? Government. So they are what's left of the government, and they're going to try and support that, flesh that out, keep that in place as much as is possible. All right? For the GOP side, we're going to start right off here with the Four of Cups. So to me, this is them being the party of no. No, we don't like that president. We don't like that election. No, we don't like that bill. We don't like that law. We're, you know, just not approving anything. We don't want, you know, the child support funds. No thanks. No, we don't want to fix voting rights. No, we don't want to end gerrymandering. No, we don't want to, you know, God, there's just so many things they're saying no to, right? They barely squeaked by the infrastructure bill, but they had to tear that apart to get it done. Then there was, you know, now they don't want to fund COVID anymore. Now they don't want to fund this, and they don't want to do that, right? Everything that's been handed to them, hey, can you do this for the American people? Can you improve people's lives this way? How about this law? How about this bill? Nope, 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 nope. So they're stonewalling. They're stalling. They don't want to get anything done. And this is a way to undermine the president, of course, to make him fail. So they'd rather see the president fail, even if it's bad for the nation, than to see their president succeed and help the nation, which would put them, you know, in a bad light or reduce them in their own eyes. So that's what I'm getting with this, right? They don't like any of the choices. They don't like anything that's being offered to them. They're just kicking back in their seat. Nope, 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 Biden, not going to help you with that. Nope, not approving that. And yeah, sorry, but I'm going to put Manchin and Cinema right in a couple of these cups, because as far as I'm concerned, they are either been corrupted and co-opted, or they were plants in the first place. Okay. But even calling them Dems, Joe Manchin is the biggest MFer right here, right? But this is a GOP side, so this is what this party is doing. This is what Mitch McConnell's been doing for a really long time, trying to improve his party by undermining and reducing the opposing party, even if it harms the American people. He doesn't care. Their challenge with the Knight of Pentacles, their challenge is the fight. You know, they shouldn't be fighting. They shouldn't be trying to undermine an American election. They shouldn't be trying to exclude large blocks of voters, right? They shouldn't be trying to pass these suppressive voting laws in all the states, trying to undermine voting, right? To reduce the voting pool. So all this fighting they're doing in their cause is their challenge, because they're in the wrong, right? So they shouldn't be doing it, but they're doing it. So all their activities, all their strategies, all the things they're trying to accomplish in the name of this is their challenge, because they're in the wrong. And their outcome is the Ace of Wands. So this is telling me there's a plan. They got a plan, got an agenda. They got this thing they want to accomplish. They got something to do. Now, I'm finding in this spread, this card related to this one, okay? So this is that evil intent that they're going about, and this is the work to get it done, all right? So those are related in this spread, but yes, the big plan, there's a plan. So those are kind of the two parties as I'm seeing them. So let's get into the read for the larger nation. So on the top row here, we're starting off with the Seven of Pentacles. So the United States and everybody in it, every single one of us, normal everyday people sitting in our houses, we have to review all of this garbage that's in front of us, the truth, the facts, the lies, the propaganda, the articles, all the media, right? We're all trying to review everything that's there and just separate the wheat from the chaff, separate the truth from the lies, separate the good people from the bad people, right? We're all having to really take a look at everything that's before us. And the part of the point of this card is karma. You reap what you sow. You planted this, and now it's time to harvest. So everything that's going on in this country right now is growth of the seeds that we have planted in this country. So this has been going on a really long time. Didn't start with Trump. Really, I would say it got really bad probably after Nixon, but I feel like it got really bad during Clinton's presidency when they tried to take him down for cheating on his wife, right? They wanted to impeach him. Think about that now. How far along are we from that now? But yeah, they wanted to impeach him for, what happened with Monica Lewinsky and so forth. So the point is that this sort of targeting, and really, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say Republicans do this to Democratic presidents, but I don't see that that Dems do this to GOP presidents. With Clinton and with Obama, it's like stop him at all costs. Mitch McConnell's out there, we're not going to let him, my main job as Mitch McConnell is to make sure that Biden accomplishes nothing. Make sure that Obama accomplishes nothing. Make sure that, Clinton accomplishes nothing. Just undermining. This has been in place for decades. And the American people stood for it. Voters stood for it. They didn't vote these people out. They allowed it to happen, right? So this history has sown the seeds that now we're having to harvest. We're having to reap the karma. What we allowed to fester in this country has come to fruition, okay? And so now we all need to take a review, decide what side we're on, what we want to keep, what we want to discard, separating the wheat from the chaff, people. So the next card is our challenge. Here we have the Knight of Wands again. So again, these are all related cards to me, all right, by theme and by color. These are interrelated. So that evil intent here that has this plan and that agenda, this is the fighting they're doing to accomplish it. That is the challenge to the nation. This is what's tearing us apart. All these people with this evil agenda who are doing the fighting. This is the taking over local state houses. This is, voter suppression. This is dropping voters from the rolls. This is, showing up and scaring people at polling places. These are all the CPAC conventions and all the dang it, what's the word? Not the where Trump goes and on his he goes and has his big rallies, right? The rallies, the lying in interviews, trying to, this is the fight. This is the battle of the Civil War that's going on right here. And this is a challenge to the country. So, and with the colors, this is telling us it's volatile. It can be violent. It can cause a lot of upheaval, do a lot of damage to the land, all right? The end result here, we have the King of Pentacles, So the end result here is there's going to be some kind of leader who steps in, someone who's got good resources, who, cares, who is a caring leader, a strong leader, logical, practical, truth on their side, is going to step in, who's going to be seated. And this is going to alleviate some of that stress, alleviate some of the dynamics here with that calming green, natural green color. Related in here. So this could be very specific people who get voted in maybe to the House and Senate, who are better choices than they had. Like maybe, Dems pick up a couple seats, or, the better candidate might win, or, somebody, there's a number of people, maybe, it doesn't have to be one person, a number of people who get in office who are a force for good here. So there's going to be some good energy coming in to sort of be the end result of this initial row, looking at the country. So let's move it down. So under the Seven of Pentacles, that, review that we're all doing, reaping the rewards of all the garbage we've let go on in this country for a long time, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is telling us again, this is karma for us. We did this to ourselves. We allowed all this negative behavior and, the lying and all the, anti-American, we allowed that to fester, right? That's what we're going through now. It's karma. We kind of did this to ourselves. We might not like it, but we did it. And this is a big moment for the country. It's a big moment for the country. But what's great about the wheel is it never stops turning. So when you're at the bottom and you're at your worst moment, you got to just hold on, because that wheel is going to turn and things are going to get better. Alternatively, if you're at the top of your game, be appreciative and hold gratitude, because that wheel's going to turn and, you might have some more difficult times. So the wheel never stops turning. It's all about karma. It's a huge moment for this country. And we did this to ourselves. We sure did. So under the Knight of Wands here, all this sort of vicious fighting that's harming the nation. We have the Four of Swords. So this is telling me that the fighting's going to reduce. That whoever these people are doing this battling, they're going to be kicked back on their heels. They're going to have to pull back, retreat, rethink, reestablish their priorities, maybe soak in a little light here, a little truth here if they're lucky. But they're going to be, I think, almost get a sense of surprise, like, oh, so maybe it has to do with after the hearings next month that the January 6th committee are going to televise. Maybe that turns a lot of people around. I don't know. But there's going to be reduction in the fighting. There's going to be a lot of thinking going on, re-strategizing, seeing things a different way, just sort of pulling back on the activity, more mental, more thinking, just a reduction of the fighting, which is good news. And then with the end result, we have the Two of Cups. So that's coming to an agreement, coming to a compromise, right? Building a partnership, taking the other person's information or emotions or whatever and incorporating that so you can build something better together, right? So a partnership, which is great. That's what we need, right? We need for these people across the aisle to come back together and to work together for the good of the country. Now, the problem, of course, is that one side is so completely corrupted, they don't even seem to understand what democracy is anymore. But hopefully they'll start rethinking their position and they can come to some kind of agreement, something that they can meet together. This could be, well, I hate to use the word Ukraine as an example, but that is an example of a way in which both parties have been able to come together and meet that challenge, approve all that funding that's going out. So it's possible, and that does seem to be the outcome. There's going to be some kind of cooperation, a commitment to work together. So for the last row here on this read, under the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Eight of Pentacles, okay? So lots of hard work for us, you guys. This is under the row where, we're reviewing all the kind of crap, separating truth from lies, trying to figure out what's what. We know we did this to ourselves. It's a big karmic moment for the country, and it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of hard work that needs to be done. And it's calling for people who have the skills, who have the creativity, the industry to go about this work and, to go about this work of getting all our ducks back in order, putting us back under the rule of law, putting us back to a place where the majority of our politicians are relatively honest, getting us back to a place where we understand America's a democracy. America should never be an authoritarian regime. There should never be person over party. There should never be party over the people. We need to get back to these values. It's going to be a lot of work. We need people to start this work. Okay, moving on. Under the Knight of Wands, right, all the vicious fighting that's harming the country. And then the Four of Swords, that might be taking a step back. Maybe something's going to kind of stop that, break that a little bit. Under that, we have the Queen of Swords. So big female energy coming in here. And with that sword there, she's got the truth on her side. She's got the law on her side. And she has power, clear thinking, clarity, integrity, honesty and truth, justice. All these things are held by the sword, and this queen is bringing that energy in. So once people start really getting to do this work, I think it's going to allow these values to come up, but also there's going to be probably some key women in key positions who really get this done. Can I get a shout out to Stacey Abrams? Okay, so people like her going to be bringing in this energy, trying to right our ship. Final card for this reading. Ooh, getting the chills. Oh, maybe Stacey Abrams will win, huh? All right. Final card of the reading. Couldn't ask for better. Here's the sun. So the sun promises optimism, hope, clarity. It's warmth. It's healing. It's just a great outcome card. It promises just victory and love and joy. So I would also say, of course, that it has to do with exposure, having the light shined in the dark, right? Everything that was hidden is now in full view. Everything that we couldn't see before that was dark now has the light shined on it. So it is a truth-telling card, a revealing card. So I think what it's telling us is, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say civil war, okay? What we do know, there are some evil, malicious, lion actors on the stage right now who are challenging us as a nation. They are fighting aggressively for their plan, for their agenda. We know that's happening. But given the fact that the nation is reviewing this, and yes, we know it's our karma, but because of this review is in place, we have strong leaders coming in, this king, this queen, strong leaders coming in, bringing a calming influence, bringing in the values of justice and truth and legislating, bringing those values back in place. And the fact that these fighters are going to be kicked back, they're going to have to retreat. We see that there's an agreement made. We got the sun in the end. I feel like maybe we can get out of this without a full-blown civil war. I mean, how do you have that in this country with neighbor to neighbor, father to son, right? Parents to children, brother to sister. We know everybody out there, whether you're red or blue, you have someone that you love, someone you work with, someone nearby you who believes the opposite. And while you might not agree with them, you certainly don't want to blow their heads off, right? Ultimately, we're a peaceful country. I think that this reading is telling me that there's violence there, there's agenda, there's evil there, there's fighting there. Yes, all those things are there, but I don't think it's going to come to a full-on civil war because we've got people doing hard work. We've got good leaders in place that are going to be doing good work. This exposure right here is key. I read not too long ago on the televised hearings that the January 6th Commission are going to do starting next month. I guess there's going to be at least six days of testimony that they're going to televise. This exposure to facts and truth. This is the ending card here, you guys. This is the ending card. So we have the possibility of averting something really, really nasty. I mean, it's already nastier than I think anybody could have imagined. I think we have the ability to push those forces, those negative forces into retreat, shine the light on all the lies, all the evidence that they're going to bring forth, all the testimony that they're going to bring forth. This exposure of information is really going to affect the nation, and it's going to bring with it an optimism, healing, hope, and some clarity about where we can go forward as a nation. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave this big old read right there. And thank you all again for visiting my channel. If you enjoyed this reading, click like down below. If you're new, hit subscribe. I'd love for you to join me again. And until I see you in another few days, take care, okay? Bye, everybody.